Real quick, G Fuel is 30% off through Monday night. Definitely take advantage of that. If you ever want to support me above just watching my videos, that is the best way to do so. Find something that sounds good to you and try it out. They have all kinds of really good flavors. Anyways, here is the video. What's up guys? Today I'm going to be finally talking about a topic I've been wanting to make a video on for quite some time now, and that is how Destiny 2 is starting to feel like two completely separate games. And I'm not talking about PvE versus PvP or anything like that, but about the in-game in Destiny 2 along with champion fatigue. And I've seen a lot of other creators start talking about this topic, and I wanted to add some of my thoughts to it. So this video might turn out to be a little bit of a rant. I wrote down a few talking points along the way, but before we get into all of that good stuff, I want to quickly talk about this month's Give Me a Review. This month's Give Me a Review is on Teamfight Tactics, better known as TFT, which is a auto battler based off the League of Legends characters, which is all about building the best team comp you can and winning a series of duels, which has an incredibly high knowledge-based skill ceiling. If you like making builds in Destiny 2 with all of the different subclasses and mods and things like that, I think you would also really enjoy this game. In my review, I try to break down how the game works and some of the fundamentals, so you can check that out by clicking the link in the comments and description. And you'll definitely want to follow, that way you don't miss out on future reviews. And if you follow and leave a comment, I reply to all of them, so that's the best way to get a hold of me. So go ahead and click that link to check out both my review and Teamfight Tactics. So Destiny 2 is starting to feel like two separate games. What do I mean by that? Well, the base game, so like your everyday playlist activities versus the in-game content in the game, it feels like there is a complete disconnect between the two. And this all goes back to Shadowkeep, when the artifact and champions were introduced to the game. At first, champions were only in Nightfalls, and when it first came out, it was a pretty refreshing, cool thing to add to the game. But now, as time has gone on since then, you can find champions in practically every single aspect of the in-game in Destiny 2, from lost sectors to even the raids to even like exotic missions and practically any activity in the game that has different difficulty options. Then almost all those different activities have match game 2, which further limits your build diversity for all those different activities. And to quote Myling Games on Twitter, which I retweeted at the time when he put this out, it means that almost all activities in Destiny 2 right now are locking key in-game activities. So for example, the lock is the champions and what shields you need to break. So for example, let's say you load up a solo lost sector, there's gonna be 2 champions and 2 shield types. In between your 3 weapon slots, one of which is kinetic, and your subclass, you know, you go from a couple thousand different combinations you could do. The second you load up that lost sector, it pretty much narrows it down to like 3 or 4 instantly, because you need exact weapon types to match the champions. Then on top of that, those exact weapon types need to be the right element, which narrows it down to like 1 or 2 weapons in the entire game instantly. So if you just load up Destiny 2 right now, there's all kinds of really cool builds you can do. They're constantly adding in new mods, you know, with the 3.0 subclasses, and there is so much build diversity in the game. But the second you load up a single in-game activity, you are narrowed down so strictly into exactly what to use, where it feels like you're not even playing the same game at that point. And with Bungie coming out and saying they want, you know, the future of Destiny 2 PvE being all about builds, RPG, stuff like that, but then they throw champions and match game on every single activity in the game, it's like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, you cannot achieve that goal if you're telling players to use like 3 loadouts for every single lane in the game. Like, champions and match game were cool for Nightfalls when it was like the Nightfalls thing, but now that's just kind of like a blanket thing to the entire game. It just feels so suffocating. And an even worse example is the new master mode for the Val raid, where there is no increased difficulty in terms of like mechanics or anything. All they did was throw more champions and put on match game. And if you look at the third encounter, the relic encounter, they added unstoppable champions to the rooms in match game, right? And in the final 2 rooms, there's gonna be 3 relics, which means half the team is holding a relic while the other 3 are not. And at some point, only half your team can actually interact with the champions, right? So between the last 2 rooms, you know, one room you're gonna be using a relic, the next room you're not. And on top of that, you have to split left and right in the rooms. So more or less, the entire fire team, you know, it's a 6-man activity. The entire fire team has to all use both Unstoppable and Overload for the entire encounter, because at some point they're going to be the only one able to do it on their side. So you take a 6-player activity and there's only 2 champions in the entire thing, so you should be able to split up who's doing what pretty easily. but you just can't. It's just like such a terrible system just to throw more champions and match game on every activity in the game and just call it a day. Like you're playing a raid and you can't even choose what you want to use. So yeah, I think that is really all there is to say about that. They're just putting it onto everything in the game, and I think a lot of players are kind of getting over champions and just the fact that they're in everything. And I always see when I upload videos, people comment like, oh, this is really good in a Lost Sector obviously, but try it out in in-game. Well, if I only uploaded builds for in-game content, there would be like 3 videos a season. Like straight up, Bungie's adding all these cool systems, all these cool subclasses, but then you load up in-game and you're using the same name for 2 years straight because of how restricted it is. And overall, I'm just done with loading up any in-game activity and just having to swap all 3 weapons, all 5 armor slots and mods just to play a different activity in the game. Like there is almost no overlap at all between the in-game and the base game right now in PvE. Anyways, I think that is going to be it for the commentary on this topic. Going back to the gimme review, I made that like 2 months ago, and I made the integration for this video a few weeks ago. So quick update on TFT. I've still been playing it. I think it's gonna be like my secondary game for a long time. I really like it. I think a lot of you guys would too. And since then, I've gotten to master rank, which is more or less the highest rank in the game. The only way to get higher is being in with the top 750 on the server, or the top 250 for both grandmaster and challenger ranks. And right now I'm 244 LP. If you play, you know what that means. And the GM cutoff is roughly 520 right now. So about halfway to GM, and I've only been playing the game for 3 months, but one of those months was Witch Queen, so I wasn't really playing. So I've definitely been playing it a lot, and I definitely think it's worth checking out if you like messing with builds and things like that in Destiny 2. Also, there will definitely be at least one more video tomorrow, and there'll probably be videos here and there until May when the next season starts. I usually don't plan on just stop uploading so abruptly each season, but once that burnout kind of kicks in, since I've been playing and uploading Destiny for, you know, the full 8 years now, when that urge to take a break just kicks in, it definitely kicks in pretty strong. And as you guys know, I'll be back for next season, be uploading every single day for the first month or 2. So don't worry about that. I'm not going anywhere. Destiny YouTube to me is definitely a marathon, not a sprint. So I'm looking forward to next season and the next 3.0 subclass. And like I said, there will be a video tomorrow. And once again, my code AIR is 30% off for G Fuel through Monday night. If you ever want to support me above just watching the video, that is the best way to do so. Like usual, thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time.